Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Today's video is going to be on physical and chemical change. And I have two things I'd like to show you that I hope you guys enjoy. We've been talking about this in class the last few days, but the big difference between a physical and chemical change really comes down to these three things. Physical change is a change in matter without changing the chemical composition of that matter, where a chemical change is a change of chemical composition. So, for example, a physical change might be something like this. I have some paper, and I ripped it. Well, that works completely fine where this is still paper. However, if I wanted to, I could take this piece of paper, which I of course just lost, and if I set it on fire, you'll realize one, smoke, which I don't know if you guys can see very well. I'll try to put it against my hat, but you might not saw it for a brief second. You can see that char line, and honestly on my finger as well, you can see a little bit of that char. If not, actually I have some on my computer. Here's some of the ash that was made. I'm not going to be able to unburn this paper. So that would be an example of physical change. These physical ones are normally reversible. For example, if you're mixing something up, right, this would be a physical change. I didn't change the chemical composition. I'm just stirring and mixing it together where I'm not unburning this piece of paper. Also, new products are, of course, not formed, and new products are formed. For example, this carbon material at the edge. Now, one of the biggest things with this, people forget about the phase changes. So melting, freezing, evaporating, boiling, condensing, all the phase changes, all are physical changes. And that is particularly because if you have an ice cube melting, solid water is ice. If it melts, it's just water. It didn't change. If you're boiling it, water is a liquid, boil, boil, boil. Water is a gas, water vapor. All phase changes are physical. So just want to go over some examples really quick. Cooking an egg. You can't uncook an egg. That'd be a chemical change. Diet Coke and Mentos. That's a chemical reaction. You can see it's going to be very active. All that carbonation going absolutely everywhere. Chemical change. Bubbles, color change, light, heat, all those are chemical changes. We just talked about the melting ice. That's a physical change. This is the volcano experiment some of you did when you were younger, baking soda and vinegar. Again, bubbles, the hissing sound that you're going to hear, all those, that's a chemical change. And then some fun ones. Again, I have right here some watermelon powder. It's not lemonade powder, it's not Kool-Aid, but it works. And if I were to try some, it tastes like watermelon. If I add it to water, you can see there is a color change. If I mix it up, and this is why mixing's always physical. I'm going to type mix because that's a big one people forget. This is still going to taste like watermelon. You know what it does. The last thing I want to show you is right here. I have two different solutions. I'm going to do this really, really, really quickly. I have an orange and a yellow. I'm going to mix them. And you can see that that color is blue. That's a really cool chemical reaction. Orange and a yellow making a blue. But that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy.